Vasudha, you were asking me about the jiva, no? So, see, this is the sound. See the sound? That ring, no? That is the jiva. Krishna.
Akka,
Yeah.
இப்போ நீங்க practice பண்றது எப்போ? When in childhood, like ஆதிலேந்து சொல்லுங்க.
When I was a kid, initially I was not very keen, right? My father was rather forcing me into music because he wanted somebody from the family to sing. But as all kids who get inspired after a point of time, my gurus inspired me. As I told you, I met my guru just yesterday, and it was such a wonderful thing to meet her after so many years. And we were talking about the good old days. And she used to come home and teach me small songs and inspire me to start learning. There was a turning point, right? Everybody has a turning point. Then they understand that this art is so precious. And maybe when I was around 13 or 14, that I went to Srimati Padma Veeraghavan. As I told you, I used to go from school. I take my cycle, go directly from school to mommy's place. Sometimes she was such an all-rounder, okay? She is some person who inspires me to think that we should do everything in life and also keep music alive in our life and keep it as a major portion in our life. Nobody is going to come and tell us that, okay, I'll take care of everything for you, you just sing. No, that's very rare, very rare. So she was an all-rounder, you know. She used to play the veena, she used to paint, she used to sing. So she was Palgat Sri K.V. Narayan Swami's disciple, right? So sometimes I'll go there and I'll find her doing vadam, you know, the pappad in the terrace. And then she say, va, idu cholliko. So for me, it was everything was a learning experience with her. She would take me to the farm in her village just to show me how a beetle leaf eppadi irukum, chemmana eppadi kodi eppadi irukonu paakradhukku. So she was a wonderful person that way. So she introduced me to Sri K.V. and Mama's music. And then from Sri K.V. and Mama, we all learnt how important it was for us to do the sadhaka varishaigal. So especially mantrasthai, he was very particular about that. And for that, it was very important for us to do it early morning. So I used to get up really early in the morning at around 4:35, and I used to practice, so that once that stabilizes, you know, all the other parts of our singing stabilizes. You want to try that now? Come.
Yes.
We'll do it Maya Malakola, okay? Asa. Sing. Sa. When you do this kind of sadhaka in the lower octave, it's very meditative. One, it calms you down completely, so your voice stabilizes very beautifully, and then you can slowly start going down. Now we did up to Panchamam, then you can move on to the Madhyamam, and then you can go right up to Kursajjam. So sa ni da pa ma ga re sa. So you know, it's late in the afternoon. I've spoken so much now. Early morning, if you work on your voice slowly without hurting the voice, this will come out very nicely. So that is how my sadhaka was. And then all the avarishais, You know, the verses are so important, right? I'm sure that when you all are practicing and when you all are teaching your own students, I'm very sure you will be stressing on the fact that each note and the swarasthana is very important. Of course, we begin with Maya Madagola or Shankarapana. When you move on to the other ragas also, you need to work on the swarasthana. And once you work on the slow speed in the swarasthana and then the speed one, Samagama Riga Sari Saga Riga Sari Gama Ripa Mapa Gama Riga Rima Gama Riga So the speed and clarity has to come together. These are basic lessons, right? So from here we can keep innovating. Like for instance, let us say we are going to Janta okay? You are stressing the second note, which is very good. Sa, 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 ri, 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 ga, ga. So that creates a certain vibration that we are using when we sing a raga. For instance, the ra, ra, na, na, ra, na, ra, na, na, ra, na, ra, na, ra, ra, na, ra, na. All these things get used. So whatever we are doing, this is one thing I want to tell all parents of children who are learning. These beginning lessons again and again at the cost of repetition are so important. They keep coming with us throughout our life. Every day we have to practice them. Okay. Sa 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 ri 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 ga 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 ma 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 pa 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 da 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 ni 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 sa sa sa. Now we are saying it sa 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 is 3, right? So you can make it 2 1 also. Sa sa ri ri ga ga ma ma pa pa da da ni ni sa sa. Now when you're coming back, sing 1 and 2. Sa sa ni ni da da pa pa ma ma ga ga ri ri sa sa. So what are you doing here? You are learning the karvai. Sa sa. Sa is 1 and sa is 2. So even at the beginning level, the great composer Sri Purandaradasa, who is the Pitamaha of music, he has introduced every little concept that is possible even at the beginning level. So for us to just understand Karve, for instance, this teaches us Karve. So we can, for instance, we can experiment. Sa 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 ri 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 ga 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 ma 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 ma. So sa sa ri ri tu 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 sa sa ri ri ga ga ma ma 3 1 3 1 like that. Okay. Sa sa ri ri ga ga 1 3 1 3 1 3. So we can introduce Karve like that. So it's this practice is very, very important for us to understand and do it.
I'm very curious about the way you learned the kritis. So when you learn, how you used to practice that?
Okay.
Because these days we have recordings,
Yeah.
we have gadgets where we record the class,
Yeah.
we go back, we recollect and do things. I mean, those days you didn't have...
No, I think by the time I started learning very serious music with, at that time, Sri Sundareshan Mama, by the time I think cassettes had come to play, but it was expensive. Buying one cassette was not very easy for a student of music. So you had to be careful what you're recording. Nowadays, I don't know, I find everybody in a bit of a hurry, including the teacher and including the student. We also want to finish one composition so that you can learn. And sometimes I think parents also, I hear that parents want the children to learn quicker. And so, but I don't, that was not the way. We used to learn only one Pallavi. One Pallavi used to go on for sometimes even 2-3 classes if it was a Pallavi of Chakkani Raja or Nadachi Nadachi or Dharani Telusukonti, which had lots of Sankatis, right? So it was very slow process, yeah. But we had to practice a lot. I've not forgotten anything that I learnt in those days because it was all repeated. So it is said that Sri Ariyakudi Ramancha Iyengar, one day he was sitting in a swing and singing one song, and one of his Rasikas walked in and he said, Anna, neenga deno inda paata paadindirkel, neenga enu kacharila paadalena. And you know his reply, he told, I believe, enakinu rattatla kalakalanu. He said, it is not part of my blood yet. So that much they practiced and they made it part of themselves before they delivered that composition. So things have changed now. People also, expectations are more. We need to present more compositions now. So you, thanks to social media, once you sing, next minute everything goes in social media. So it's very difficult to repeat a pallavi or repeat a composition very quickly. So that much more focus is also needed. We need to work a lot more now.
Ma'am, in Russia we have old songs which is about nature.
Okay.
And is it some songs in Carnatic music is about nature or about 5 elements?
Oh yeah. Of course, we have the Panchalinga Kirtana, Panchabhuta, which talks about the 5 elements. You have by Sri Muthuswami Dikshita, right? There are 5 compositions like that, but there are a lot of compositions which talk here and there about nature. In Muribe Mukalige, he talks about Tiruvayyaru, and he says, Eduleni Malayamarthamu Jesina Kaveri. He says there is no comparison to that beautiful breeze that you get in Tiruvayyaru, he says. So these are, they experience it here and there, because they have been in communion with nature. And that generation, you can see that everything they felt was about bhakti, about God. They felt connected to nature all the time. So, but this composition, because you asked me for it, let me teach you all Paramatmudu Velige. Here, it's one of my favorite compositions. You heard it in Latvia when I came and sang it. Yes. So, I sang it there because it talks about the elements of nature and how he first says, where can I look for you? And then he comes to the conclusion that the Lord is there in all the 5 elements. Gagana Nila Tejo Jala Bhumaya Magu Mriga Gagana Saru So he talks about the 5 elements here: earth, fire, water,
air, and
akasha, right? So all the 5 elements are here, and he says that I can see you as a manifestation of all these things, beyond that, and in whatever I see. So let's do Paramatmudu today. We will learn this beautiful composition in Vagadishwari. Okay? Gagana Nila Tejo Jala Bhumaya Magu Mriga Khaganaga like Nagaraja. Naga is the mountain, okay? Mriga Khaganaga
Saguna Mulalo Vigu
Namulalo I want you to use your nabi here, okay? Especially when you go on to the upper octaves, don't use just your throat, then you will hurt your throat. So just watch this. Saguna mulalo viguna mulalo satatamo. When I'm doing satatamo, I'm using my nabhi. I'm not using my stomach muscles, my core muscles. I'm not using my throat. Okay? Try that now. Saguna mulalo viguna mulalo. Try that.
Namulalo
Satatamo. Good. Paramatmudu Velige What a lovely composition by Tyagaraja Swami. I'm sure there are compositions like this that have touched your heart. Do write to us about that and about your experience while learning. Looking forward to reading all your comments. Meet you in the next episode. Musically yours.